Hey, Trump does not give a fuck about regular people. No better example than what we just seen for him today. So I want y'all to understand this. It is rare for Democrats and Republicans to agree on anything in Congress. And when that happens, it's typically just a few members of Congress siding with the other party and they'll go ahead and call it bipartisan. But one thing they both agreed on this time was finding a solution to the housing crisis. And Trump is holding that hostage unless Congress help him rig the 2026 midterms. The House voted 396 to 13. That means that Congress realized that there's a housing crisis, there's a housing shortage. I mean, the median price of a house today in the United States is $400,000. The average home buyer age is 40 fucking 1 years old. So yeah, there's a problem. But currently, to build a house in the United States, you got all of these environmental and zoning stuff. That just makes it take forever to build a house and it drives up the cost, right? I want to stop right there and ask everybody to take a second, subscribe to Politics with Steve on YouTube, and sign up for my email list. That's the best way to stay in the loop on all things Politics with Steve. Now, we about to get back to it. Now, this bill, if it becomes a law, will address the housing shortage by cutting just a bunch of unneeded regulation that block a lot of people from being able to afford homes, right? It also stops corporate hedge funds and just private investors that own more than 350 homes from buying up more homes, which ultimately drives up the price of these homes. This will encourage a lot of building of starter homes, which will help the middle class, and that's allegedly what Trump ran on, right? He said he was going to be the affordability president. Now, all of this is just because he crashing out that Congress is not passing his Voter Suppression Act, which is the Save America Act. And he just gives it a MAGA friendly name, Save America Act. But experts say that this act will block millions of eligible voters from voting. They also say non citizens voting, which is already illegal, is extremely rare. The most conservative organization in the United States, the Heritage Fund, according to their own data, say that only 68 non-citizens voted in federal elections since 1982. And look, I don't want to hear all of that. Why would you not want to pass a voter ID bill? Bro, you can't even use your driver's license. This ain't a voter ID bill. And another piece of this affordability crisis that I think a lot of people are forgetting is Trump settling that lawsuit against software companies that help landlords gang up and collude to, price fix rent using these algorithms. I remember when I was in college, I worked at this leasing office in Bloomington Normal. We used a company called RealPage for like all of our, leasing activity. Now, RealPage is one of these companies that uses algorithms to keep pushing rent prices as high as the market will let them go. Monopolies and market collusions and stuff like that is supposed to be illegal in the United States. We literally have organizations within the government that is designed to stop things like that from happening. But it takes the federal government to act and go after these companies. So the Biden Justice Department did that. They went after these companies. They had lawsuits against these companies. And Trump comes into office and settle with these companies with no fine, no enforcement, no admission of wrongdoing, no nothing. Like they literally, people calling it a sham settlement. So tell me again, what did Trump ever do for regular people? And the sad thing is, you still got a lot of MAGA people that will support him. I don't know how these dummies continue to cheer for policies that literally does nothing but make them poorer. But the good news is, if Trump does nothing with this bill, it will become law in 10 days. If he vetoed the bill, all it needs is 2/3 Senate majority, which it will get. So Trump just whining and bitching over the Save America Act is literally irrelevant. But the point is, he don't give a fuck about regular people. Get that through y'all head.